Welcome back, guys. This is episode 7 of the home buying process, and it's a very important episode because today we're covering what is an appraisal and what happens when it comes above or below the value that you were under contract for. So let's get started. Thank you guys for joining back again. Like I mentioned earlier, today we're covering what happens when an appraisal comes in higher and or lower than your original contract price. So at this point of a contract, you've already done the inspections and you're already doing the loan approval. The loan approval falls under the financing period, which for us down here in South Florida is usually about 30 calendar days. Within the financing period, you have to pay for an appraisal for the bank to send a person out there to give the evaluation of the home. Now, this appraisal is crucial because it will determine the value of the property that the bank will give to the home that you are buying. So let's say you're buying a single family home for $300,000. And when you do the appraisal, the report comes at $310,000. What happens here? Can the seller charge $310,000 when you originally already went under contract for $300,000? The answer is no, because usually the price of the sale is already negotiated before. And if it's at $300,000 and the appraisal price came at $310,000, congratulations, ding, ding, ding. You're buying a property with $10,000 in equity because the appraisal came in higher than what your contract price is. Now, let's say you are buying, let me give you another example. Let's say you are buying a property that has been completely renovated. I even dare to say it's been overly renovated, and the appraisal comes in at $290,000 and your contract price is at $300,000. So what happens here is that as a buyer, you have the right to either back out of the contract, and if you are within the financing period, you can back out of the contract and regain your escrow deposit back without any penalties. But if you are outside of that financing period time, then you might have some penalties and your deposit may be in jeopardy. So we got to stay on top of those dates. So again, you can back out of the contract if you would like. You can renegotiate the terms with the seller, which in this case is the sales price, or you can just move forward as it is and just put the difference at closing to come to the closing table. In some scenarios, it's worth it. In some other scenarios, it's better just to negotiate. So in the case the property is overly improved and we are coming up with this scenario where the appraisal value is below your contract price, then it might be worth it to just put the difference of $10,000 or whatever it is to come up to that contract price and go to the closing table. If you want to go to option 2, you can negotiate with the seller and bring the attention to him. You have to, with a copy of your appraisal report, you give your argument a little bit more weight and you tell them, hey, seller, even though we were under contract for $300,000, the appraisal came in at $290,000, meaning that my bank is going to lend me 75% or 20% or whatever amount the bank was originally going to lend you, but they're only going to lend you based on that sales price of $290,000, which is the appraisal price. In other words, you come to the seller and tell them, hey, seller, even though we had a sales price of $300,000 in the contract, the appraisal came at $290,000. Are you willing to come down to $290,000? They'll probably tell you yes or no, depending how motivated they are. If they say yes, fantastic, you just got a $10,000 reduction. If they say no, what I would do is, okay, how about this? Let's come to middle ground and I'll put an additional $5,000 at closing and meet you halfway at $295,000, but I would appreciate your help as well and come down $5,000 to $295,000. That way they're leaving $5,000 off and you're putting $5,000 more, so you find middle ground there for you guys to move forward if you guys really want to buy this home. So that's also very common, and at the end of the day, you are getting a $5,000 reduction as well. Like I mentioned earlier, you can either back out of the contract, renegotiate terms, or just move forward as it is. So I hope this information is of value to you guys. If you have any other questions, please let me know. And before I let you guys go, I do want to advise that you can avoid being in this scenario of having to have a contract price higher than the appraisal price by hiring the right agent. Because usually a good agent, what they're supposed to do is do a comparable market analysis before they even send in an offer. That way they look at the comparables in the area and see if that home that is listed for $300,000, whether it is overpriced or underpriced. That also determines the price you're going to offer. If it is overpriced, then you should come in with a lower price offer to avoid being in a scenario where your contract price is higher than your appraisal price. So again, who you work with matters. Selecting your real estate agent at the time of purchasing or sale is crucial. So make sure you guys make the right decision. If you guys have any other questions, by all means, please feel free to drop some comments below. And also, I would appreciate if you can subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell to get notifications of my next video. Thank you guys so much. My name is Bryan Roach, your real estate agent here in Miami, Florida, and I will see you next time.